finding puzzle-worthy moments, but in the context of calculation. So I was watching an Anna Kramling video. It's on YouTube. I was not impressed, guys. I was not impressed. I like her. She's just very personable, and she tries. Now, her mom was the strongest female player for a while, Pia Kramling, and she's a grandmaster. I love being able to say that. Her, Irina Krush, the Polgar sisters, they are grandmasters, not women grandmasters, grandmasters. So I love that. Oh, is it? Excellent, Bolt. Cool. Great. Yeah, I do like Bolt. I was totally surprised by the movie, didn't expect it, and didn't know where it was going, and it had a lot of twists. Very good movie. Very good movie. So I'm watching Anna Kramling. I like her. Like I said, I like it when I can name a female chess player as a grandmaster, not a women's grandmaster, just a grandmaster. And by the way, side story about Irina Krush, I was watching the U.S. Championships, right? And nice tournament, good tournament. Caruana ends up winning it. Didn't need to go to tie breaks. But Irina Krush and Jennifer Yu had to go into tiebreak. By the way, Jennifer Yu this year won the junior championship, junior women's championship, and now she's playing in the playoffs for the full out women's championship. And in the first game, Irina Krush had a crushing advantage, ended up losing that game. Second game, Jennifer Yu should have won that game. She blundered. Third game, opening stages, Irina Krush puts a bishop down, lets go, and then goes back and grabs it and was like, wants to put it back in its home square. And Irina Krush looks at the arbiter, who of course they're watching because there's only one game. This is the playoff. And she's looking at her like, doesn't it have to stay there? She let go of it. And he goes, yeah, it has to stay there. And she goes, she put it down. She goes, oh, and hits her clock. Obviously distressed. It was the Armageddon rules where she chose black. So she got, I think she got 4 minutes and only had to draw. And white had 5 minutes and had to win. And she just gave away a free bishop. And so Krush, of course, is in the lead all the way to the end of the middle game, going into the end game, and Krush plays some inexplicable bad moves. Once is really bad move, and then it just tumbled down, and then she still had a chance to win in the end and made another blunder. But a blunder that I don't think any of us would make. I mean, she just had to trade off pieces because she was up a whole free piece. And formally, and instead of trading off, she started moving pawns. Weird play. Pressure, a ton of pressure, so much stress. And so she lost. Yes. And so she lost to Jennifer Yu. Jennifer Yu is now, she was the junior and women's champion in the same year. I don't know if that's ever happened. So she was, right, so Jennifer Yu, of course, was ecstatic, but sorry for Irina Krush for blundering. But she had blundered away a piece. And she just, anyway. So I'm watching Irina Krush the next week or so, and she is commentating with Benjamin Bach, Grandmaster, on Hikaru Nakamura's channel. And they are watching Hikaru Nakamura play in the 960 World Championship, who the current reigning world champion is Wesley So, who wasn't doing so well. And Nakamura came out first in his pool, I believe. They had two pools, right? Two pools. The top two from each pool then go into a head-to-head match where they play for the four of those will play for first through fourth, and one of them will be the champion. So some things I didn't know was like the 960 position where we go play 960 right now. If I go play in a 960 tournament on Lichess, or if I just ask for a 960 game, the game starts, you get 20 seconds in an arena, you got to move. So you're sitting there trying to analyze the position with less than 20 seconds for your first move. Then when you move as white, black doesn't have the 20-second restriction. Black can take minutes on the clock, right? Even if it's a 3-minute game, he could take 2 minutes to decide what to move first. So I was like, oh, this isn't fair. It's not fair to white because you don't have any time to think about it and your clock's running. Now, in the 960 tournament, it's different because you right? You get 80 minutes or whatever. You can let your clock run as long as you want. It's not like online where it says, oh, you're not playing after 20 seconds. I forfeit you. But then I find out that in this tournament, the 960, they actually get to see the position the day before. So everybody sees the position the day before, and they can plan out their opening strategy all night. So I thought that was nice. I mean, I don't know if that's what Fischer intended when he came up with it, because he intended to get you out of book. But I guess you're still technically out of book, but you only have a day to study it and figure it out. So I like that. I like that a lot. But anyway, so Irina Krush was commentating on Hikaru Nakamura's game, and Carlsen blundered away a fork where Nakamura, who was playing against him in that round, could win a rook for free. And you could see on her face, she's like, wow, I can't believe the best player in the world just blundered a rook. I guess I'll keep playing chess. I was going to quit, but I guess I could keep playing chess. and I just, that was so human, right? I mean, that was just so human, I mean, she was bearing it for the world to see that, hey, look, it's all of us can fall into the problem or the trap of playing blunders, making bad moves. It happens, guys. We all can do it. And so a woman, and she's not a women's grandmaster, she's a grandmaster playing for the championship of the United States, blunders away a game. And the one that won the championship blundered away moves. Now, granted, this wasn't a 5 versus 4 minute game, so it's a blitz game. These are grandmasters, right? Yeah, grandmasters. So yeah, we all should feel a little bit better about ourselves. No, that happens next week. Next week we switch. Oh, so where are you at formally that you're getting the daylight savings time? Because I believe ours is next week. So yeah. Oh, so Naka came in second afterwards? Because he was in first place the last time I saw. And then Nepo knocked out Magnus. And Naka beat the brakes off his matchup? Who was his matchup? Oh, does it? Oh, does it like him? So if white moves within 20 seconds, black only has 20 seconds for the very first move? Didn't know that. It's still not fair. Because if I'm sitting there looking at the position and I have black, I get whatever amount of time white uses to look at the position. Let's say he uses 10 seconds. So now I technically have 30 seconds to have looked at the position before I had to move. So it's still not equal. So I like this thing where they let them see it the day before. Yeah, he blundered the rook. Yeah, no, even you saw it. Oh, okay. Yeah, formally, I think ours changes next weekend. Next weekend. Wait. So, Naka swept the guy that was like leading going into that day, right? So, what's the results right now? I got now. You guys got me. World Championship. You guys got me curious. I gotta know. Inquiring minds want to know. Announcing I'm trying to find a good site to look at it on. I don't want to look at Wikipedia, I don't think. I definitely don't want to look at chess.com. Yeah, I'm even less excited about chess.com lately. I'm sorry. I just am. Okay, final stage of the FIDE World Fischer held October 25th to the 30th. It's today's the final round. The 8 players will be divided into 2 groups. They play a double, a player who wins a match. Okay, so yeah, we're into the finals. And I guess people are playing for 3rd and 4th still because I still see games here. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, that was the semifinals. The finals. What time do the finals start? Playing right now, it says. The finals are being played right now. And you're right. It's Nakamura versus Nepo. Carlsen is playing Nordebak as a backup, as for 3rd and 4th, right? So very, very interesting because Nordebak, I thought, came in first out of pool play. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see how they finished in the end of pool play. But Nordebak, I was pretty sure, was the top out of his pool. It won't show the standings. No, I can't see the standings. Doggone it. But Nordebak was leading. He was undefeated. He was leading. He looked like he was definitely going to be the leader out of his pool. So did he end up leading in his pool? Oh, is he the Rapid World Champ now? Nice. Hey, Sudakus. So yes, it looks that way. So Wesley So I guess they're also playing for 5th through 6th, I guess. I don't know. Because Wesley So is playing. And I'm surprised. Because I thought it was only going to be the top 4 in the finals, right? The semifinals only had... Did the semifinals have Wesley So? No. Why is Wesley So playing in the finals? Okay, so in the semifinals, Nakamura beat Nordebak. You guys said he trounced him. Interesting. Here's the results. Let's go check out the results. All right. Righty. Let's see. Where are the results? Semifinals results. Nakamura beat... no, it says... Okay, so you guys... Did you say that right? I thought you said that it was the other way around. So, Magnus got knocked out by Nepo. No, that's what you said. So, Carlsen lost to Nepo. And Nakamura beat Nordebak. It looks like every game. Yeah. Wow. And coming out of final standings, Group A, I was right. Nordebak had 10 points. Nepo had 7. And yeah, Nakamura fell by tiebreak, I guess, to 2nd place for his pool. So he had to play the number 1 from the other pool. I wonder, well, he couldn't have done it on purpose. Wouldn't be a bad play if you didn't want to play Nepo in the final at all, right? And so now it is obviously Nepo versus Nakamura versus Nepo, and Nakamura beat him the first game. So I don't know why they're showing Blue Bomb game and Gredefin and Fedorusov, and so I don't know what those games are doing. 5th through 7th place. Okay, 5th through 7th place. So, and Nordebak beat Carlsen. Wow, maybe Carlsen doesn't want 3rd place. I don't know. But that was the first game. And Nakamura won the first game already. So that's pretty awesome, guys. Yeah, that's awesome. I gotta root for an American. Sorry, guys. I'm a homer. Gotta root for the American. Okay. Well, there you go, Formally. Shame on you. Oh, but you're not an American. I don't blame you. Yes, you can vote on... You could have bet on Nordebak. Never mind. It's fine. Yes, Bolt. I like Nakamura. I like him as a person. I like him as a streamer. I like him as a player. I don't know if it's because I'm a homer and he's an American. I don't know. Yeah, Nordebak and Firoja. Yeah, why not? Yeah. Nepo is on his game lately or off his game lately because he lost that first. Oh, Nepo got knocked out of the first round, right? I mean, out of the championship by who did he get knocked out by? So Nepo beat Carlsen, right? Okay, I'm confused. Didn't we say that Nepo beat Carlsen to play for the championship? Nepo's playing, yeah. Oh, I gotta be in the wrong round. Thank you. I thought so. I was like, no, what am I talking about? Okay, and Nakamura's in the lead then? Nakamura's up a win already, right? I read that right. So Nakamura has a win already. And against Nepo. And what's this game looking like? Whoa, 13 seconds for Nepo, 5 minutes for Nakamura? Oh my gosh. Wow. And Nakamura has a bishop. He's up a bishop. Oh my gosh. Wow. Cool. Cool. Homer's happy. So Nakamura has up a bishop against Nepo in the second game. And how many, what is it, the best of what? Do we know? I thought Chess Wizard was joining us there for a second. Yeah, it's already 1-0. Yeah. Or 1, depending on your outlook. Yes. Best of 4? Best of 4. Well, if he gets 2, all he needs is a draw. Oh, is this game over? Yeah, this game is over. Was this the first game? I was looking at the first game, maybe? Am I looking at the first game? I want to be in the finals. I want to look at I'm at the finals. Come on, guys. Where am I at? Playing. No one's playing. Was that the second round? Was that the second round game? No, 1 of 7. That's all I got here. What am I looking at? Okay, I'm still in the semi. I want to see the finals. Here we go. My gosh, why is this so hard? This should not be that hard. Okay, Nakamura won this one. Yeah, that's the one I just saw. And is that the last game? So are we waiting for the next round? Are we waiting for the next round? Yeah, nobody's playing right now. So was that just the first round game I was looking at? Yeah, where do you see that? Okay, I keep getting knocked off of the finals for some reason. Okay, this one Nakamura won, but that seems to be the first game. That seems to be the first game. Let's go to Twitch and see if we can find it, because it doesn't. I'm not finding it properly. I am not finding it properly. So it was being I thought. No, the St. Louis Chess Club was showing the other one. Okay, what are they? Let's see. What round are they in? Hikaru's up 1.5. Hikaru's up 1.5, so they drew the second game.
It makes sense that he went for Queen B7, but I guess.
Oh, look, Anna Maja. I watch her her stream. She's a streamer, man. She's not a super big streamer, I don't think.
And as you mentioned, this knight on c4 is a very nice piece for white. Motor back played bishop b7, now Magnus traded, and
yeah, so it feels like they're not.
Because it becomes very difficult to defend this pawn.
So where is it? So here it is again. Because we should be able to watch the games live without their commentary. So if it's 1.5 and he won the first game, this is the first game. I'm not even seeing the second game. Yeah, finals right now. That's yeah, thanks. That's what I want to see. Ah, there we go. But this would be this next round? Is that true? Let's see. Is that this next round? I can't tell. Oh, really? Wow, formally? Yeah, that sounds kind of stalkish. Yeah, you're not stalking her, are you? How do you know exactly where she... That's kind of scary that you know how far away she is. Or do you just mean the whole country? I'm just teasing you. Nepo didn't win the first game. No, Nepo did not win the first game. What are you talking about, Bolt? Nepo lost the first game. Nepo lost the first game. I saw that. Let's check their broadcast. Nothing. It hasn't started. So, yeah, right? And you'd think it would show you their standings. So I go back to the results again for you guys. And it says right here, Nakamura won the first game. Nakamura was up 1-0. Now, this one is not showing the draw that we think. Oh, this says it's not going to happen. Whoa, what is going on? So it says at 3 o'clock, but I don't know what time zone that is. Probably over there. It's got to be over there because obviously the first round was already played. So if that was equivalent of 11 o'clock, then this is an hour and 15 minutes later, which is 12:15. So they already played that game, but it's not showing the results yet. And this is the next one. Maybe? It says the same time, so that's no use. That's totally useless. That's not very useful. That site is not up to date. No, it doesn't. The broadcast did not. What are you talking about, Bolt? Here, which broadcast? Right here, it says Hikaru versus Nepo, 1.5-05. Can you not see? Maybe you can't. Maybe I need to go full screen. Right here, next to his name, on the announcement, it says he's up 1.5 to 0.5. So I don't know where you're showing it. Where do you see it? Up here somewhere? Because I don't see it. Oh, chess.com. Wow, surprise there. I'm sorry. I'm actually not very happy with chess.com lately. So chess.com having it wrong doesn't surprise me. Does chess.com actually have it wrong? That would be sad by itself. Live now. Let's go see what that looks like. And nothing, right? You got to wait for the broadcast to start. Yeah, nothing. Watching the commercial. Does it say it here anywhere? No, I don't see it anywhere. All right, here we go. It says right here, Nakamura 1.5, Nepo 0.5. So no, it's correct on chess.com, it looks like. Oh, in one scene they had it wrong? Okay. Absolutely no problem. Yeah, so they haven't started the third round yet. So they drew the second game. Yeah. If Nakamura draws the rest of the way through, he'd win. But, you know, who wants to do that? Yeah, just for a quick second, I guess. Anyway, we can leave this up, and that way we can watch it if it ever starts. But this is not the right setup. Or is it? No, this is not the right setup because this is not a 960 setup. So I don't know what's going on here. I would think they're going to have to fix this, right? I think they got to fix it because that's not correct. And where's the previous round even? Okay, stop showing the semifinals. I don't ask for the semifinals, and I get it anyway. So 1 through 9. This is the first game where he won. Oh, here's the second game. And this one ended in a draw, right? Yeah, okay. This was the one that ended in a draw that they were just talking about. Okay, found my way. So this is the one that ended in a draw. Where's the one that ended in a draw? See, again, every time I go back, it doesn't go back to the finals. So here's the one that ended in a draw. And now we're waiting for the third round. And here's the setup, but this is not the setup, right? This can't be this is normal chess. Yeah, Nepo is a little bit higher rated, very low, right? 30 points. All right, so let me talk about something else while we wait. If you guys hear that they start, let me know. We'll go watch the game. I don't mind watching the game at all. I love to watch the game. Anyway, so one of the things I was talking to you guys about, besides puzzle-worthy moments, let me rewind and go back and talk about Anna Kramling. So Anna Kramling had a YouTube video, which I would not recommend. I'm sorry. And it's about how to calculate, how you should calculate. And she's a 2100 rated player. Okay. And she's talking about how to calculate. And she says, yeah, my parents taught me to look at checks, captures, and attacks. First of all, I have no problem with that. I don't think of that as calculating. I think of that as looking for moves. Calculating is when you find a move and then you have to look over and determine where you'll stand at the end. Right? That's calculating. Calculating is I do this, they do this, I can do this, this will happen, the position will change in this way, and yes, I should go forward. That's calculating. But she called it calculating and instead talked about checks, captures, and attacks. She left off a primary thing, a big primary thing, and it showed up. She then, after she talked about it, she went and played a game. And she played against a noob, and she used one of those speed run accounts that chess.com gives them. If you play against any of these people, you don't know who they are, but you could be playing against Hikaru Nakamura. And he's playing in a speed run where he starts at 0 and goes up to as high as he wants to go. And any game you play against him, win or lose, you get back your points, right? It acts like you never played. It'll give you back your points. And that's a pretty cool thing that chess.com, although I'm slamming them lately, that's a cool thing they came up with because it allows these strong players, anybody actually, I guess you have to apply for, I don't know how you get to have one of these speedrun accounts, but that way you can use it for broadcasting, for what do you call it? For stuff, right? When you're showing your stuff. What do you call it when you say you're doing it for the entertainment value? Anyway, so they can use these accounts in this way. And so she was using one of those accounts that she had. And she's playing some very weak player. And the player played pretty good. But at one point, the player, she had a choice to attack. And it's only for chess.com streamers. Of course it is. Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, no, it's not for educational purposes. It's called content. You know, that they do it for content. But anyway, yes, entertainment value content. So there's a point where she goes, should I put my bishop here or put my bishop here? Well, I chose to put my bishop here because it's on this really good long diagonal. And this long diagonal is better. You know, this long diagonal is better than this other shorter diagonal that it would be on. Okay, that's her whole reasoning. I'm sitting here looking, and if she puts her bishop on the other diagonal, she is checkmated. Okay, if she puts that bishop on the other diagonal, the shorter diagonal, the not so attractive diagonal, it's mate in 1. She never mentions that her opponent has the threat of mate in 1 if she puts the bishop in the wrong place. Never mentions it. Never sees it. And that's because she's only looking at checks, captures, and attacks, not threats. She's not looking at how her opponent can say check, capture, or attack her. And then the game that she uses as her example, she's making, and she even says halfway through, oh, I forgot, I didn't look for check, captures, and attacks. See, if I did, I would have found this better move. Right after she made a bad move, or not the best move. She realized, oh, I didn't do my check, captures, and oh yeah, I got to keep doing that. See, it's not easy. See, because it's not how she calculates. She went on and calculated moves without ever considering check, captures, and attacks. Check, captures, attacks, and threats are just a method for you to help you look at all the different possibilities. It's just like saying find 3 candidate moves, right? And how do you find 3 candidate moves? Look for checks, captures, attacks, and threats. And out of those, find the 3 best moves, and those are your 3 candidate moves, and then out of those 3 candidate moves, pick the one that you want to go with. And hopefully thinking moves ahead of why it's the best move. That's calculating, is the looking ahead and seeing what happens. Thinking 3 moves ahead is calculation. Along with, if I do this, oh, then this happens and that happens. Even if it's only 1 move ahead, 2 moves ahead, 3 or more moves ahead. And when I start with a beginner, I'm happy if they're thinking even 1.5 moves ahead or half a move ahead. You know, if I can get them to think 2 moves ahead, calculating 2 moves ahead is excellent. But we want them to have multiple options. We want them to have at least 2 candidates, think at least 2 moves ahead, start there, and then grow to 3 candidates with 3 moves ahead, right? Yeah, I'll take vulnerabilities. I like CCAT because I thought of it as cats. So it's cats. Cats are good. But anyway, I like cats. I got a cat on my stream because, we have a chess cat. Anyway, so yeah, I was not impressed by this at all. And she never talked about, that, oh, this is a point where I need to really stop and think. Now, part of the problem was I think she played a 3+2 game. And at the end of the game, she's like, oh, I'm sorry, guys. I can't really explain what my thoughts are because I got to win this game, right? Who cares? It's your speedrun account. Lose the game. Anyway, so I had a lot of problems with the video at all. But the thing I want to stress for you is, one, that's not calculation. Two, I believe not more important, but critical to your growth is not only to look at 3 candidate moves, finding them by doing checks, captures, attacks, and threats, but add to that, well, it was checks, captures, attacks, threats, and I forgot what the S was, but I had an S, so it could be cats. But anyway, besides that, you got to be able to identify when you need to slow down. And playing a 3+2, she did not. I mean, she took some moments to think through some things really hard, and she missed the fact that the person was threatening mate in 1. She just got lucky in that sense. But I just didn't see. I didn't see her ever looking and being able to spend the time to solve the deep puzzles. And the reason why she couldn't solve them was because she played too fast of a time control. And so we need to play slower time controls. Now, so that's okay. Puzzle-worthy moments are still critical to me. Let me share with you again, remind you what we came up with for when to look for the puzzle-worthy moment. Because it's nice if I tell you there's puzzle-worthy moments. There's 3 or 4 in every game. It's my guesstimate. I've not done enough study yet. I love to do some analysis. But I'm going to bet Anna Kramling. So I'm going to say that if we take like say every 10 moves, there's going to be so many puzzle-worthy moments on average. So what I would love to do is take my criteria for puzzle-worthy moments and maybe just use my own games, but go over like 30, 40, 50, 100 games and see how many times these situations, these scenarios, this criteria is met, right? And so that I could tell you, because I think it's going to come out to something like every 10 moves, you will have at least one puzzle-worthy moment. And what does that tell you? That tells you should be looking for puzzle-worthy moments throughout. And so the key for memory, for me, is not memorizing move orders. That's one, it's too hard for me, and two, it's not fun. I want to remember things like check, captures, and attacks and threats. I want to remember things like looking 3 moves ahead. I want to remember things like to find 3 candidate moves. And I want to remember this. I want to remember my criteria, just like you remember things like rooks belong on open files, right? These axioms that guide you in chess. They're guidelines. So I want to remember that open files, rooks belong on open files, rooks like semi-open files, that bishops need open space, that pawn breaks change the game, right? The pawns can't go back. These axioms, these rules, these principles, and I have like 42 principles I teach from. Those are what I want to memorize. I want to memorize that. I don't want to memorize patterns so much as I want to learn patterns. Now that's a nuance, right? It's a nuance. I want to learn the pattern so that when I see it, I not only recognize the pattern, but I can recognize it in different forms. So the French knight that I talk about, that happens in the French, it actually also happens, say, in the King's Indian attack. A whole different side of the board, a different knight, but the situation where you have a knight that's pinned, but then you break the pin with the bishop, and then the knight that's pinned, the knight that was pinned is free to move. And if it moves to a square where it then protects the bishop that broke the pin, you have a free move with that knight if that bishop has no other protector, right? Because then the bishop is unprotected, and I can win a pawn, I can win a knight. So this French knight is a pattern that I've learned from playing the French. I've learned. I didn't memorize it. I've learned the pattern from playing the French. And then I can see that exact same pattern in a different game, in a different situation. Make sense? Hey, you're welcome. Did they get there, Patrick? They arrived? I'm glad, man. Thanks. Thanks for letting me know. I'm glad. I hope you like them. I ended up not using them. I still might go back and use them at some point, but now puzzles are just so prevalent online, it's really hard for me to justify buying them when they could just see them online. Anyway, so here is my criteria. And again, I would love to, if anybody wants to do some research with me, I would like to go through and see how often these situations occur in a game and how often per so many moves, so that I know that, oh, it happens once every 10 moves or once every 15 moves or every 12 moves, right? To know how often they happen. So in the opening, we have 3 times that stand out as puzzle-worthy moments. And they are, if you're fully developed, it's a puzzle-worthy moment because you need to make a plan, right? It's not so much puzzle-worthy moment as in you got to make a plan. So treat it like a puzzle. Take your time and find a plan. If during that opening you are 2 or more steps ahead in development, and remember, castling is a step in the development. Normally pushing pawns is not. Queen getting off the back rank is a step in development because we want our rooks talking. If you're 2 or more steps ahead in development, it's a possibility, a strong possibility you have a puzzle-worthy moment. If in the open or in the middle game you decide that you want to do a pawn break, or your opponent forces a pawn break, don't just take it, don't just push it. Take your time and figure it out. It's a puzzle-worthy moment. And when I say want to force a pawn break, if you have the opportunity to push a pawn and create that tension where it could be a pawn break, you should really, really, really think about it before you do that. Now, again, in your opening, if you have memorized the line and you know that is the normal line and you know what comes next, no worries. You don't have to treat it as a puzzle-worthy moment. But if you're looking at doing a pawn break or someone does one to you and you don't know it in the opening, then yeah, it's a puzzle-worthy moment. And then the last 4 are puzzle-worthy moments in the open, middle, or endgame. It doesn't matter. So if your opponent, when you attack something of your opponent, and your opponent doesn't reply directly to that attack and instead attacks something of equal or greater value, it's a puzzle-worthy moment. And it's either going to be bad or it's going to be good. You want to decide. Okay, I can allow that statement. Thank you, formally. So, next thing, free candy is on the board. Given or not taken, right? So if you leave free candy on the board and your opponent does something else, doesn't take the free candy, it's a puzzle-worthy moment. If your opponent leaves you free candy, it's a puzzle-worthy moment. Why? You want to make sure it's not a trap. You want to make sure there's not something that you're missing obvious, right? You want to, and if they didn't take yours, you want to know why. All right. If you blunder at all, or you think your opponent blundered, take a deep breath. Treat it as a puzzle-worthy moment. If you blundered and he took advantage of the blunder, you need to defend and find the way out. You need to do it now. You don't want to get down in the dumps, make a couple of bad moves, just being depressed, and then try to defend. You want to find your defense as soon as you realize you blundered. And if your opponent blunders, like what happened with Irina Krush and Jennifer Yu blunders the bishop. She hunkered down and did her best after that to keep creating problems. While Irina Krush kind of like psychologically, you could see it. She was like, I got a free piece, but it was a mistake. What do I do? How do I play? And if she had just played with the same amount of intensity as she would have played if there wasn't that blunder, she would have won the game. But her mind lets up. It plays different because you're way ahead. Last one I just added today. It's the corollary for the one where your opponent attacks something of equal or greater value. If your opponent attacks you and you have this brilliant idea to attack something of equal or greater value, it's a puzzle-worthy moment. Don't do it until you really, really, really look it through, okay? It's a puzzle-worthy moment right then. So much only puzzles, but, okay. Teaches you progress slowly and isolate puzzles. Good. Well, hey, use them, Patrick. Let me know what you think of it. Give me a full review. Maybe I will try them again. I have the books. So I can still use them. We had, what happened was COVID hit, and so we weren't meeting in person, and those were for my in-person class, and I wasn't going to give them to all my online students because you're not there with them, you can't go over the puzzles with them. So I do have a small class right now, 4 students in real life meeting in person. I could definitely give those 4 students those books, and we can try it again. So let me know what you think, Patrick. Let me know if you like it. I will go by your recommendation and give it another try. The unconscious recognition of a pattern aids in calculation the most. Yes, it does. It speeds up your calculation because you identify certain patterns, right? So I had a smothered mate the other day against one of my students that was playing in our tournament, and I noticed it. It took me a few seconds, but I noticed the pattern and said, "Oh, I got a smothered mate," and so I went for it. That GMs don't calculate so very much deeper than some lower level rated players, but they have a more vast amount of patterns in stock, so they can narrow down the need of several variations. Well, that's for sure. They don't. I don't think they waste their time calculating stuff that's not really gonna go right. I don't think they go through every check, capture, and attack to try to find their moves. They already know patterns, and they know their opening. They know their middle game. Yeah, I like to say they don't calculate much deeper, but I don't know about that either because I'm sure they do. I listened to Nakamura go through 5 moves that he's calculated, and I know I'm sitting there going, "Wow, I saw the first 2," So you can calculate if you could keep the visualization in your mind of what's going on the board. You can calculate as deeply as them, but the problem is, do you do it as correctly as them? I find what happens to me a lot of times is I calculate, I figure it all out, I go for my variation, and it's like 5 or 6 moves deep, and I get through the whole variation, and everything happened the way I thought it would, and then I don't know if I'm winning. Sometimes I'm losing, sometimes I'm equal, sometimes I'm winning, but I don't know if I'm winning. So I see the whole series of events for the next 5 or 6 moves. I could see them all. I can put them in motion. It can happen. And when the dust settles, I'm still looking and going, okay, so am I winning? In real life, I mean, after the moves were made, I'm like, maybe I'm not winning. Or it's equal. Dag, let up all that pressure. Right? I just couldn't find the ending. Here, I'll show you an example. Where was that game? So what I did was, I'm trying to give you this whole story. So that's puzzle worthy moments. I'll show you one of these examples. But one of the things I thought I would do, because I'm battling getting ready for playing over the board again for the July tournament we talked about. And one of the major factors I find in my own game that I lack is confidence. And I talked about this with Metal Eagle. We're going to talk about it more. Metal Eagle, who's not even playing rated tournaments anymore, he's helping, he teaches, he coaches, and he's helping a grandmaster prep for his tournaments, decided to play in a rated tournament at his club. It was 1 game a week, and he didn't care, and he thought it'd be good. He could show his students that, you should play. It's go ahead and go do it. So he did. So he played in the tournament. And what was funny was he was telling me he didn't let slip, but he says, innocently enough, "Oh, and in between games, my coach said," and so I waited till he finished, and I said, "Wait, back up. Your coach? You have a chess coach? You're not playing rated tournaments anymore. Why do you have a chess coach?" And so he explained that it's a grandmaster that he's helping, so the grandmaster kind of like offered to coach him through this tournament, and so I said, "Well, what does he do for coaching?" And you guys might think, "Oh, he tells them what openings to play against certain people. He does the analysis." No. First of all, Metal Eagle already knows his opponents extremely well. It's his local club's championship. He knows all these people. He knows how they play. They know how he plays. He knows which ones has good winning records against him, all of that. So I'm like, well, what does your coach do? His coach tries to help him with his confidence. His coach focuses on building up his confidence each round and helping him to be ready. Okay? Well, I mean, how is that? How's that? 9 moves or 17 plies deep? Yeah, I don't know. So formally, what I would say the puzzle of the day. So when you find a puzzle that goes that deep, and you are making me chase a new shiny object, by the way. What I would say is it ordinary? Is it a little much? I don't know. What I will say is it definitely is doable, because most of those puzzles I find, you can find the first, second, or third move, right? You could find 3 moves deep. You might not see the other 6 moves, but you see the beginning and you go, this is good. I'm going for it. And you go for it, and then you solve that puzzle from that point forward. And then you solve, after 3 moves, you solve the puzzle again. And so things open up. So you don't have to see, and so the point is, you don't have to see all 17 plies deep to play the moves, especially the first moves. You just need to see the first moves are the best moves. So if the first move is obvious, exactly. Second move is harder, there you go. But then you keep going. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. All right. So anyway, I thought, let me see. I'm curious, because I don't know about you, but I think my biggest problem, besides taking my time and thinking through the way I have when I played serious chess in the past, and I want to do again when I play serious chess in the future, besides analyzing and calculating and thinking my way through my game, what I find is probably my biggest problem is confidence. It's confidence. So I looked at my own rating, and I was playing a classical game. Yeah, I was playing a classical game, and my rating at the time was 2099. And I'm playing against somebody, and unfortunately, I did it while I was teaching chess, and I had some time, and I started the game. I shouldn't have started the game. I did not focus. I ended up helping students and then coming back and making a move. Not the way to play. Not the way to play a serious game. But I was at 2199. Didn't care. Didn't realize. My opponent, when he was winning, he chats me. I love it when people chat you. So he chats me, and he chatted me in Spanish and said, "I guess you're not getting to 2100 to 2100 today." The game wasn't over. I didn't resign yet. He didn't checkmate me yet. Why do people talk smack when they're winning? Only when they're winning, right? It's just frustrating, is it not? So, I don't like people that talk smack. The only reason I didn't tell them off and resign, or do something nasty like try to let my clock run out, which I don't do. I'd rather just resign and ignore him for the rest of his life and block him. I didn't do any of that, but only for one reason, because he didn't know, but he had wrote his note in Spanish, and I translated it quickly, and I felt so good that I could understand the Spanish that I'm trying to learn, so I didn't mind. But otherwise, I would have been upset. All right. So I said, you think I'm not that good? Yeah, I'm not that good. Okay. So one of the things I like is when you go click on Lichess, and I only play Lichess primarily. So it says my rating right now is 1821. But then it has 2 things that can make you feel better, guys. 2 things. One is it tells you how well are you doing than other bullet players. And there are so many thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people playing chess that even at my 1821, right, and I'm not good at bullet, I'm not good at speed, that's still better than 78% of the bullet players out there. 78%. And makes me feel I can feel better, is I've won 64% of my games. At bullet, I'm no good at bullet. I won 64% of my games. 64% of my games in bullet. And my high rating was only 9 points higher than it is now. 1830. All right, so now I'm not feeling so bad about my bullet, right? Although I don't like bullet, I don't play it very often. Let's check blitz, right? 5-0, that's classic. 5-3, I play blitz, right? Everybody plays blitz. You get blitz games, you got to play some blitz games. So my rating currently is 1951. Pretty much what my over-the-board normal time skill rating is. But I'm better than 86%. I'm better than 85% of the blitz players. 85%. That means I'm in the top 15 percentile, right? I mean, I'm better than 85% of the blitz players. And my win ratio is also 67%. What was this one? 64%. My blitz is 67% win rate. So my win rates are pretty decent. They're in the top, right? I win 2 out of 3 times. But here's the fun part. My rating right now is 1951. I can add to that my highest rating was 2017 in blitz. I'm terrible at blitz. All right, so then we go to rapid. And rapid is where I tell you guys is the fastest time limit when I think it's decent to understanding how good you are. Right? I'd rather you play classical. But rapid, especially if you're not playing like 10-0, if you're playing 10 plus 5, 10 plus 3. I do play some 10-0 also, I'll confess. But I'm like, okay, so rapid is closer to the reality I want for us to look at. So first of all, my rating in rapid is 2070. And as I told you, I was this close to 2100 thinking, oh man, I just missed 2100, lost some games, and I've dropped all the way back down to 2070. But look at this. I'm better than 94% of, or 95 if I round it up. I am better than 95% of the rapid players. There's only 5% of the rapid players that are better than me. Where's my confidence? I should be confident. That's at 2070. By the way, my win rate, not 60%, not 2 out of 3, 82%. 82%. So I'm winning 8 out of 10 games, guys. 4 out of 5. I win 4 out of 5 games when I play rapid. Oh, but let's go a little further. Check out my highest rating. Right? I almost got 2100. I've been up to 2200. What? Yeah. I'm like, I was at 2200? When was I ever 2200? I didn't even remember. I went on a streak. Look at this. I had a winning streak of 80 games in May of 2020. 2 years ago, I was on an 80-game winning streak in May of 2020. Crazy. And that was from 11 May through 30 May. So, played a lot of tournaments there, I guess. I don't know. Because playing my students won't get you up to 22, 29. Right? Because my students are like 1,500, 1,400, 1,200, 1,600. That's not getting me that. And I had a win streak of 80 games. And if I knew it at the time, I would have felt pressure to see if I can get a 100-game win streak. But 80-game win streak? I don't know how I'm ever going to try to get back to that again. I mean, that's crazy, right? All right. And then I said, well, let me see if I can build my confidence more. And let me see who I've beaten. By the way, the fun part is my worst losses. 3 of them are the Chess Wizard back in 2020. And who knows what I was doing. But I had 3 losses to him, 1 to another student, and 1 to my daughter. Those are my worst losses. And hopefully those will stay my worst losses forever. But anyway, here's my best wins. I'm hoping that changes. So I beat a 23-20. I beat a 23-05. I beat a 23-01. And this one I did, 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I beat the 23-01. I beat a 22-72 and a 22-47. So I said, wow, all of my best wins, which are supposed to be high rated, right? Higher rated. The higher rated is a better win. I've had 5 of those. I've beaten a FM at some speed, but I guess his rating isn't even up here. So not bad, right? I have no 2400 scalps, but I have 2300s. All right, so that's one of the things I want to look at. So then I look at classical and I say, all right, 2000, again, over 95%. I'm better than 95% of the thousands of people that play. My win rate is 69%, almost 70%. My highest rating was 2169. Longest win streak for classical was 14 games, still back in May. Man, I played a lot of chess in May. March through May. It looks like I played a lot of chess. My best rated victories for classical, none of them are 2300s. It goes all the way down to 2000. So not as great. And it looks like none of my students and my worst defeats. Yeah, 69% is nice. I'll take it. And then finally correspondence, which I have not played enough games in, it says. I've only played 51 games. I've played other games, but they're not all rated. So I've only played, I think, 51 rated games. So my rating provisionally right now is 2285 in correspondence. I'd rather that be in classical, because I know that's sitting. But correspondence is pretty much the closest thing if you're not playing classical long games, right? If you're not playing in here classical 30 plus 30 or an hour plus 30, if you're playing just 30 minutes and that is classical, but it's also quick. In the US, it's quick. So I know most of my classical games were like 30-0. But so correspondence is a lot longer. And in correspondence, I have a 93% win rate. I've won 93 games and only lost 5. So not bad. Longest winning streak is 24. And that was back in 2020. 2020, I was playing some chess. 2020, I don't know what I was doing in 2020, but I was playing some chess. Now, I don't know why I have no worst rated defeats. Why would it not show you your worst rated defeats? It should show you that. But my best rated victories are really low rated, right? They're one student that kept playing me correspondence games. So I'm not even proud of those. All right. Not that it was a student, but there's that, he's not actually high rated. So to build up my confidence, the first thing that really helped was looking at my rapid and knowing that I have been as high as 22-29, which means to me that I can do it again. All right, I just need to focus and play more. The club tournaments? No, I tried. I rarely played in our club tournaments, and they don't get you many points. But that would explain why I played as much. I might have been playing as much. And the club tournaments, I didn't always, I don't think I always streamed. So a curiosity like it might be that I played a ton in 2020 and I wasn't streaming. I don't think I started streaming until May of 21 because I did one full year, I thought, in May of 22. So in May of 2020, I don't think I was streaming. Yeah, and I don't lose on time. That always helps, Flavio. Yeah, I know. So I think I'm pretty positive in May of 2020, I was not streaming. So I think, is there something you could do on my channel and it'll show you how long you've been streaming? Because I think I haven't been, I don't think I started streaming until May of 2021. In which case, May 2020, when my rating was the best, I wasn't streaming. And Sudakus will tell you, yeah, streaming lowers your rating if you play while you're streaming. And I've taken that to heart to the point that I'm not playing rated on stream anymore. But yeah, it makes a difference. Streaming makes a difference to your rating. So, oh yeah, probably not. It's, oh no, we can do a tournament still. Is that why you showed up? That's the only reason you showed up? We can do a tournament. If I refresh this, let's just see if they've started oh yeah, GM Sergey is streaming, and so am I. So the game has started, and you guys didn't tell me. Let's go, and I love this. I love that I could just rewind and go look at the game, right? You don't have to jump to the end. So yep, here we are with our strange formation, because it's 960, which they got to see the night before. And wow. Castling is very interesting and fun in this. Like right now, if this bishop moves, Nakamura can castle over here. Yeah. And if this knight moves, actually the knight doesn't even have to move. Nakamura can castle here. Same for his opponent. He could castle here without, right now he can castle both sides. He does not need this bishop to move to castle. So that's pretty cool. And there you go. He castled. Didn't need to move the bishop. Had a bishop. I mean, had a pawn. And then that bishop, his bishop would have been caught. So he says, no, I'm not taking any poisoned pawns Thank you. I didn't want to let him take a poison pawn, though. Probably because... You know what? He could have taken, though, right? Because he can't do this. He'd lose the rook for it. So he has to chase him or move his rook before he could try to... Why didn't he take the free pawn? Now I'm curious. So, isn't that a free pawn? But let's see. What is he worried about? Maybe he just didn't want to give the rook back, right? The rook will get the pawn back. Yeah, the rook would get the pawn back. Okay. Didn't want to open the file. I'm understanding that. Okay. Remember, he could still castle on both sides. And that's where they are in the game so far. Interesting. You like to measure your potential in puzzle solving, not puzzle rush, which is not time constrained. On chess.com, it tells me I can higher rated puzzles better than 99% of the player pool. Wow, nice. That's where I draw my personal confidence from. Awesome. Yeah, I think I don't care where you do it, right? Wherever you do, wherever you get your confidence from, you need to find that place. You need to find a place to get your confidence. I think that's critical. I believe confidence, your mental psyche when you play chess, is as important as anything else you're working on in your chess game. Your mental fortitudeness, your strength of your mind, your belief in yourself and your position and how well you play chess and all that is a gigantic factor in how well you play chess. Thank you, Flavio. Thank you. And you agree with me means a lot. I believe it or not. If you agree with me, Flavio, I'm feeling even better. I feel more confident about my viewpoint about confidence. Seriously. So, one of the things I did was this, right? So I looked at this. And then I said, let me do another exercise to try to find my confidence. So what I did was I took every game I played against a 2200 rated player and put it into a study. And right now my win rate of 2200 plus is not 69%. I've lost more games than I've won. But I won 8, 4 draws, 18 losses. All right, so then what do? I look at the wins. I want to go look at the wins, and I analyze the wins. Here, let me go full screen. I analyze the wins, right? I analyze the wins myself. I didn't use the computer yet. I'm going to go back and look at the computer to see about what the computer thought about the games, but I just played the games over myself to see how I felt about my progress. And I made notes and said, oh, I thought I could have done this better. I could have done that better. You know, what did I do? What could I do? This is against a 23-41 player, 10-minute game. I think it was with increment. I don't remember if it was a specific tournament. Does it show? Nope, just looks like a rapid rated game. And this was back in 2021, June 11th, day after my birthday. And I ended up winning this game. And where did I win this game? Let's see if I can remember. Well, I thought this was bad because he became a, he just became a, oh, actually, he resigns here. Where did he resign? He resigned here. Yep. He resigned here. So I have 3 versus 1. I don't know if he wants to go play another game. I don't know what else. Yeah, nice little birthday gift. So that was one win. And so that was fine, right? And I also looked at draws because I figure if I'm drawing people, especially 2300 rated players, if I'm drawing 2300 rated players, I can feel good about those too. Here's another one against a 2320. By the way, I also looked and said, what openings am I playing against these people? Guess what? My openings, right? Because these are older games. Most of them are older games. I did have one recent, though, but these are mostly older games. So I played the Dutch, I played the French, I played the Birds. And where, you know, you might say, I might say, oh, my Birds isn't that good. I need to find another open. No, my Birds is fine because I have my best wins. Some of my best wins are with the Birds. Oh, this game I remember. So I felt like So I'm getting low on time here, but I'm not that low on time, right? I'm at 5:52. Here I took a good 20 seconds. And the game goes on a little bit, and I get to a point where I felt like I should have a winning chance right here. I thought this was a puzzle-worthy moment at the time. I thought this was a puzzle-worthy moment. I'm going to confess, I could not solve the puzzle. I could not solve the puzzle. So after I couldn't solve it in the game, I don't really try to solve it yet here. But then I would turn on the computer, and I haven't even done it. As you can see, I've not done computer analysis yet. But I would do computer analysis to see what the move really was. What was the winning move? What was that winning move? Right? I mean, I want to know. Maybe it's rook takes. I don't know. Maybe it's rook takes. I remember looking at this afterwards. So, but anyway, for right now, the point is that I had 4 minutes left. 4 minutes and 3 seconds. 4 minutes and 3 seconds left. I used up nearly 3 minutes, and I still couldn't answer it. So I decided to go with this as a possibility because I thought if he responded incorrectly, I'd win. So I'm down to 43 seconds. He then he didn't take more than, let's see, at a minute 5, because probably the whole 3 minutes I was thinking, he was probably looking at all the possibilities. And so he did not use a lot of time on his move. We went through here, and I thought, okay. And so the dust has now cleared. I'm not winning anymore, guys. I've got 3 pawns. He's got 3 pawns. He's got 3 pawns. I have 2 pawns. He has 2 connected. I have 2 connected, but he has 2 pawns. One of them is a flat-out passer. Flat-out passer. So what do? You put your rook behind the passer. If you can, maybe put the queen behind the passer. You start pushing that passer. You give me enough trouble that you win some other pawns and you win this game. And I'm thinking I'm losing this game. And I'm at 36 seconds. And again, you guys know me. If I'm under a minute, I'm in trouble, right? My name is not King 11063. My name is not Ratchet Lodros, right? I don't play well fast. I do not play well fast. So, but he makes this move. I don't remember even why I thought he did that move. I don't know what he was doing. So I threw a check in. I threw another check in. I threw another check in. And his king keeps marching forward. And I'm like, okay, now I'm liking your king there because now I get check. I don't know if I'm going to get anything out of this. But, I'm going to see. I'm happy for a draw right now, guys, because I'm down material. I was happy for a draw. And he offered, I'm not going to in any way take this queen trade, right? Because the pawn will be pulled towards the center and he's get another one, right? Yes, I give away free queens. Most people do. I don't know if I do. I give away free queens. But I was smart here. I did not give away a free queen. I kept my cool for once. I got to chase the king and I got to play an endgame. What do you guys think of that move? So you tell me. I don't know. I was so happy. I'm still at 19 seconds, but I'm in an endgame. Rook and king endgame. And I felt at least I had a chance, if for no other reason than I love endgames. I love endgames. So I threw the check in. He came up. How about, I loved this next move. I loved this next move. I found it with 20 seconds on my clock. It is an increment. So I had 20 seconds on my clock. I loved this move. I loved it. I thought this is what a good move. Right? I gave away the free pawn to get this pawn, and he goes back. I get to go back, and now I figure I'm in the game. I've got chances, guys. I've got chances. And then he blunders. Then he flat out blunders. On this pawn is keeping my rook from here. I was worried that he would do this, but he must be thinking, oh, but then, he takes, and then he takes, and then we're looking very drawish, maybe. And actually, if he goes here, I don't take. If he goes there, what was it? I did have a move I needed to do. If he goes there, I analyzed it, but my point is, with 20 seconds left, I don't think I would have figured it out. I needed to let him take with the rook. I don't know that I would have found that with 20 seconds left. If he takes, he gets into trouble, big trouble. He's going to lose the rook. Okay, he loses the rook. So he can't take. And if he doesn't take, right, if he doesn't take after this move, what else might he try? Now he might try the h4, and I still get the check. The king still has to go into an unfavorable spot. I still get to win the pawn, and I'm still looking good. But he blundered worse, and he pushed the pawn right away. The king has no squares, so the king has to go hide. And now I'm going to do, just like we've talked about in lessons, we've talked about this, I'm going to keep the king out of the game. So now I have a king, a rook, and a pawn against a rook because his king is out of the game. It's blocking his own pawn, and this pawn is going to fall. So easy breezy, right? And now the game is easy. So I ended up winning that game convincingly against a 23-20 with, at one point, 20 seconds, actually less than 20 seconds at one point on my clock. And you say, okay, but that's not recent. So here's a recent game. Here's a recent game. And I played it, and I tried I'm working on new openings, right? Because the other ones were birds. I had most of my wins were with bird if I had white. They were all bird. Here I got to play the King's Indian attack. And I had Metal Eagle in my ear the whole time, not literally. Just his ghost in my ear saying, stay flexible, stay flexible. And so I tried. Now, this is bad. This is just bad, in my opinion. I got two hidden here. It's just bad. I probably should just admit it and come back. Right? I should just admit it and come back. But no, I'm stubborn. So I don't admit it. I don't come back. I let him go up a whole pawn. And we get to here. And I'm attacking here. And I'm going to ruin his pawns. He's up a pawn, but also the knight is hanging. The knight is a free piece. So I'm thinking I have chances. He takes here. I take back. He goes after my knight. Remember, the knight is still hanging. So it's a knight for knight. If I had someplace good to attack, it would have been great. I don't have any great places to attack. But I figure I want the bishop off, right? I don't want that bishop because, if he takes mine, then I could take his, and then he could take mine, and I'm hoping, I don't know what I'm hoping, because he also is going to snarf up this pawn. So anyway, I take here, he takes back with the pawn, and I say, okay, well then I'll keep my knight, because that keeps his rook out of here. He probably should have just taken my rook and ate up my 7th rank. Always grab those 7th ranks. Ooh, is he? I'm going to have to go take a peek. Tries to block my bishop in, and I say, no, we're not blocking my bishop in today. We're not blocking my bishop in today. So again, playing decent endgame, I think. And look at this. I say you can have another pawn. I felt like I was playing pretty good chess at that point. Trade, and now I'm like, he's going to get this one. What can I do? What can I do? So I have to take this pawn. I felt like I had to take that pawn. And guess what? We're in an endgame again, guys. We're in an endgame. And against a 23-01. Against a 23-01, and I'm thinking, he's got to know endgames. How can you be a 23, even just in Lichess, how can you be a 23-01 and not know endgames? You have to, don't you? I mean, it's like, isn't it have to? You have to? So I'm surprised he didn't push, because if I take, he gets to take this one, and then he gets the discovered attack. That's what I would have done. And if he pushed, I probably wouldn't take and wait till he pushes once more. Then he takes, and then I take. And then he could still have set up the double attack with the discovered, right? But he doesn't. Push the pawn, guy. Push the pawn. He doesn't push the pawn. And he allows me to take 2 pawns. And now I'm up a pawn. Now I'm up a pawn. And what did he do? He did all of this to do that. How do you want me to send that greeting to your father-in-law, Hugo? Hey, Hugo! Greetings! How's that? Is that good? Greetings, Hugo. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Yeah, he should go watch the 960 championship going on. Where is that? We were watching that. No, I don't want to watch them talk about it. I'd rather watch the actual game on our own. All right, let's see. When we last left, it was up here. So Nakamura went here. I thought he was planning on this, but his king is like right there. Wow, that's kind of scary. He hasn't castled yet. Still hasn't castled yet. Still hasn't Oh, I hate pins. Look at that. Look at that alignment issue. Queen, I hope, gets out of alignment sooner rather than does not get out of alignment. Wow. Just stays in the alignment. Interesting. Well, he's a super grandmaster. Definitely, right? Attacking something of greater value than worrying about the fact that your pawn was under attack. Okay. Gets out of the alignment. And wow. Okay. Wow. And this is chess. I mean, that's the beauty of this. Oh, good. Is that all you needed? You got it then. All right. I gave the greeting is what you needed. I didn't know if that was going to be good enough, so I'm glad it was. Yes. So yeah, amazing, right? The 960, the beauty of it and why Bobby Fischer invented it and argued that it should be the way that chess should be played from now on, in the championships especially, because you're playing chess. You're not going off of opening study for hours and days and months and years, finding, as you have seen. Oh, I don't know if I've totally learned it, but I'm trying. Thanks, though, I think. Flavio. Muchas gracias, mi amigo. Mi buen amigo. The beauty of it is you're not playing by rote. You're not playing opening study. So we've heard about people that played an opening against somebody. They lost maybe or won. They went back and analyzed it, used the computer, used their own imagination. They come up with a novelty on move 22. And they say, I'm going to spring this on him next time. And he doesn't play him for 5 years. Yeah. And so they have these novelties. And the question is, do I use the novelty now? Do I wait? Do I spring it out? Do I use it? When do I use my novelty? Because, once you've shot it, once you've used it, it's over, right? It's over. So interesting stuff here. This knight, okay. I was going to say this knight had options to go almost anywhere, and you'd have a discovered attack, and that would be a painful discovered attack. And now this one says, I'm going to take off your knight. Nope, we're just going for straight out mates and threatening the knight at the same time. Oops, this could be bad, but you still up the exchange for the moment. I'm looking at things like trying to force a trade of queens. Then the queen can go here. Then you could go back here. Still trying to force the trade of queens. Because you're up material, right? You're up material, it's okay for you to trade. You can actually go here also. But then queen takes, rook takes, knight moves. And that bishop gets this attack. But is that worth it? Because that knight moves means you can win that knight unless the knight moves here, in which case you can still take and end up getting still, I don't know. It's again, we're back to super complications. Ah, awesome. Okay, so did we give a shout out to the right person? Oh, I see. Hola. Sí, bienvenidos. Bienvenidos, Viking. Sí, Hugo. But Hugo is his teacher. So I want to know who I was supposed to do the greeting for. Your father-in-law, you said, right? My father-in-law, Hugo. But Hugo is also your father-in-law then, right? And sí, bienvenidos de Argentina. ¿Tú eres de Argentina? ¿Y tienes 12 años? ¿Sí? Yo tengo muchos años. Muchos años. I would think so. Yeah, I know. That's the part that was throwing me, Flavio. I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure how that works. Anyway, this game is going still. We'll come back and peek in at it. So I want to finish showing you guys. So the 2200, I thought he played this really poorly. Went over here, went over here. What was this rook's moves? What were these rook moves, right? I mean, maybe here, so you could go here and push my king away. But he gave away the pawn. He gave away another pawn. And by the way, he had more time than me, right? When he started this foray, which I was worried about him pushing this pawn, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do if he pushed the pawn. I think I was actually planning at some point if he pushed the pawn just to move my bishop away and keep holding this pawn to keep his rook out of the game. Trade, but keep the rook out of the game. And then if he tried to push one more time, then I could win the pawn and I wouldn't have to worry about the rook. That was my idea, I believe, was to push the rook, bishop away. But yeah, so this move I don't get. Here maybe move the bishop somewhere. I don't know. I mean, this would be a nice square for the bishop, wouldn't it? Bishop would hold all. Look at that diagonals. That bishop would hold and he'd be anchored by the pawn. But yeah, so he made these kind of moves. I don't understand. And so he might have, I think he probably looked at it and said, well, yeah, he's attacking f4. So I'm thinking he might have looked at it and said, you have no way to protect that pawn. Your rook is way over here. You have no way to protect that. Wait, you just moved it. What? You don't have to protect pawns. You can move them. Sí, soy de Argentina. Mandale un saludo a mi profesor Hugo Coronel. Muy bien. And sí. Sí. Mando un saludo para tu profesor Hugo. Muy bien. Gracias. F4 freeze. F4? F4? You mean F5? It freezes my structure. It saves my pawn, buddy. And now I'm feeling good about my game. Because I also realized he doesn't know how to play this game. Yeah, right? I would say so. That makes a lot more sense than your father-in-law. Sí. ¿Es tu maestro o profesor? Sí. Yo comprendo. All right, so I felt good about this, and this was the last blunder, right? Now, normally the king should be active, and I think he's trying to get to here, to here, to here, right? And come over here, or I don't know, he's trying to be active. His king is trying to be active, but on this check, he actually needed to retreat. This is just bad, right? Checkmate. Boom! And I felt good. I felt like I was going to at least get a draw when I was losing, right? I showed you much earlier I was losing, so I would have been happy with a draw. So yeah, I was happy with this. And it was with a King's Indian attack, recent. So thanks King. So I'm starting to feel like, I can play, especially when I look at the fact that my highest rating was 22-29. Why not be that again, right? Why not be that again? Thanks, Flavio. Muchas gracias, mi amigo. So, yeah, I can be this again. Right now, my rapid is 2070. The guy gives me a hard time. You're not reaching 2100 today. And if I had realized this, my quip back, I was going to just say, nope, not today, and just laugh it off. My quip, because I was going to do it in Spanish, my quip should have been there, done that. Right? Been there, done that. Well, thank you, Flavio. See, you're a coach, Flavio. As we just saw from Metal Eagle, you're a coach because a coach helps you build your confidence. And so what you just did was try to build my confidence. My classical over the board or my classical here? My classical here, you could look it up, my friend. But my classical here is 2076. And the high for my classical was 2169. But yeah, I agreed, Flavio. I said I wanted to get up to 23/2400 before I played an over-the-board tournament. Why? To be confident that I'm playing well enough. And I was at 22-29 at one point. So what do I need to do? I need to get to work. I can do it. I can, and using the way that I've always played, I was at 22-29. So some of what I predicted actually came to light. And we're still up, but that's really important, right? We're still up material. And I don't know. That was an interesting move. I don't know. I mean, what else do you do? Your knight's hanging, right? Your knight's hanging. So you got to do something about it. And you do not want to let this bishop, you do not want to let that bishop get that. You cannot allow that to happen. If he takes, you take, he takes, and then you can start, and here we go. I predicted that too. Not that predicting is that important. Can't, of course, go here because of the queen, but you can go here, and now the bishop can't get that, and there you go. This is all, again, when you get to this point in the game, I think the moves are easy to find, and they're easy to find because there's not many other choices, right? That's the good and the bad, the good and the ugly, good, bad, and the ugly, whatever way you want to look at it. So I don't know what the computer is saying. Actually, if I remember correctly, we could turn on the computer. They are playing. They can't see this. We could turn on the computer. Yeah, King, you play very well fast. I do not. I've never played well fast. Never tried to say I did. And so we're getting. Oh, and look at that. Best move. Best move. I would have moved underneath the pawn. I would have moved underneath the pawn and probably lost the game. I can't tell why it was so bad, but I would have moved underneath the pawn and lost the game. And here Hikaru makes the best move without hesitation. Without hesitation. That's the beauty. I love it. I love it. Now, his opponent is figuring it out, but the computer shows us the best move. It makes you wonder why it's the best move, but I think it has to do with if you take, and if the rook takes, then the rook takes. No, that can't be it. Okay, bishop takes, rook takes, queen here, check. You come here, check. You come here, and I guess you could take here, because if the king takes, you take this rook, and you got back your exchange and the pawn, and black has no obvious, and black doesn't even have any checks. Black does not even have any checks. And you have a passed pawn. And your queen in the end was here. The king was here. So you have this one. And it was going to be white's move, I believe. Of course, he could also do that, but he has to be careful, because then the queen can come there. Yes, it can. Anyway, complicated. So let's see. What did you say? I should also start playing rapid. Yes, you should. Moving underneath the pawn is self-aligning. Yes, it is. Yes, I'm glad formally. Yes, you would be putting yourself into a pin on the pawn, and it's probably just loses the game quickly. And look at that. Every move, the computer, Hikaru, no hesitation, finds the right answers. Now I don't know if that was the right answer here. Yes, it was. And no hesitation. He's not using any time on his clock to find those moves. His opponent's down to 2 minutes and 30. He's not. All right, Flavio. Hasta luego, mi amigo. Hasta luego. Que tengo un buen día. Por favor. That 100 endgames you must know book. I have a couple of endgame books somewhere in here. Oh my goodness. The endgame book I've been liking mostly right now is Essential Endgames Move by Move. Yeah, this is the one I've been more enjoying. Jeremy Silman, another Jeremy Silman book, I really like Jeremy Silman. So there you go. But I will also tell you guys, so NaNoWriMo's coming in. NaNoWriMo stands for the National Novel Writing Month. And you take the month of November and you try to write a novel in that 1 month. And so I'm going to be writing for my choice for writing a novel for this NaNoWriMo this November is going to be the sequel to my novel, The Time Warp King. And so, as you guys have heard me profess, my memory's not the best. I'm rereading my own book, right? So I'm rereading my own book. And while I'm doing it, of course, I can't help but find anything that I would change. Even if it's just add a word, subtract a word. I found one minor spelling error, capitalization that didn't belong. So I'm rereading my book, and I have to reread it muy pronto. Muy pronto. I have to read it very, very fast. Okay, so now Nepo's up to 6 minutes. He's gotten back a lot of his time. He did not make the best move per the computer at all. Wow. Nope, did not make the best move. Why do you ask formally? Oh, on the book, that's my daughter. It's my daughter. She helped me write it. She helped me with the first 3 chapters. It was her concept, and she had drafted up the first 3 chapters, which actually didn't end up being the first 3 chapters. But anyway, yeah, she gave. So she has this penchant for starting books and not finishing them. And I wanted to write a novel. I've tried a couple of different novels, but I read Stephen King, I read Ray Bradbury, I read a lot of different stuff, and I don't like writing those styles, but I love reading them. So my problem was I was trying to write in the style, but not the right style, because I wasn't writing in the style I liked. I was writing in the style that I like to read, and so I needed to change that. And so I told her, I said, why don't you give me one of your books that you started and I'll run with it. And so she gave me a book that she started and I ran with it and I was very happy. So I gave her credit on the cover. Don't know who that is. Who is David Eddings? And Leigh. Who is Lee and David Eddings? And what do you mean, how did I like them? Did I meet them? Gracias, obrigado. What is that? Is that a link? Yes, it's a link. What link are you giving me, Flavio? It can't be reached, so that's not a good site. So it means something. So gracias, I know is thanks. I don't know what obrigado is. So it's interesting. The computer had shown the best move was here for like 5 minutes. And now it's changed and says the best move is there. And the computer says the only difference is like half a point. So that sounds like it looks like it's going to be very drawish. That just comes across as going to be a draw. Interesting, you know, I think my gut would say take with the queen, but this is saying take with the rook. And I'm always curious about when to use the rook, when to use the queen. Yeah, this says take with the rook. And I would have thought take with the queen. I wonder if taking with the queen is like close. Oh, really? Fantasy and chess together? Oh, in their titles? Yeah. No, King is the only part of mine that had chess in the title. Yeah. I do have the new book I just wrote, which I'm editing, The Good Knight. Ooh, I like that title. I didn't have a title. It's actually, the character's name is Good Knight. But I like maybe The Good Knight. I mean, that has so many different alliterations, right? It could be about sleep, good night. It could be about the character, good night. It could be about a knight, like in chess, the good knight versus a bad knight. And it could be like in medieval times, the good knight. I really like that. I might use that as the book title now. Okay, I'll check them out. I'm always looking for good reads. Especially if it's like YA, if it fits in my genre, because if it's a genre that I would actually write in, it's even, to me, more. So no, Hikaru didn't take the best move. He took a good move, but not the best move. The best move was this, but this is what the computer thought was the best move at the very beginning. And look at the right now, the bar is back to exactly equal. I think we'll see another draw. So David Eddings, let's Google him. Okay. Yeah, it looks like fantasy books down here. The Magician's Gambit. You're right. He likes using chess terms. I don't see many other, though. I don't see Queen of Sorcery. That's not really a chess. Enchanter's Endgame. There you go. I wonder if he's a chess player. I'm going to have to guess he's a chess player, right? Yeah, I'll definitely check him out. Thanks, Formally. Thanks. All right, he blocks with the bishop, and Hikaru finds the best move that time. Surprised it's still not take this at some point. Okay, as YA coming of age young wizards, that kind of fits what I do. So there you go. Look, Hikaru, I will tell you this. If you notice, Hikaru was finding the computer's best move very quickly, very often. Did you notice that? I mean, he's not slow to find them. He's finding these moves rather quickly. So his ability to play fast is amazing. And he doesn't need to. I mean, he's got time. They get a good increment. All right, guys. So back to so I can end my story with you guys. So what I'm doing is I'm looking, and I always look at losses, right? When I'm teaching, I look at losses. But if I want to build my students' confidence, remember, it always comes back to me trying to make myself a better teacher. So besides becoming a better player. So Flavio, thank you for the 2,400. He's gone right now, but what a nice statement. Yeah, for me, that's. I agree. I think I could be 2,400. Now, I got to work at that, though. I think I could be 22. I've already been 2,200 without any additional work. I could be 2,200 again. But I want to be 2,400, and that's going to take work. Now, so finding my confidence is critical to future success. I believe heavily in that. And so it's also critical for my students. I think I need to take my students, look at their best wins, and just have them enjoy their, not to analyze the game, right? I don't need to analyze my win to see where my opponent went wrong and go, oh, okay, well, if they didn't do that. No, the idea is just to relish and enjoy the wins. We love looking at, I know we all do. I would make a study with just your wins, just your best wins. Just take your best wins, put them in a study. And they don't have to be the best wins per Lichess, because Lichess is strictly using your results, right? These best wins are based on your results. But you can base your best wins on, like, you know, a great trap you laid, and it could have been a weaker player. It doesn't have to be the highest rated players. But those are what I would want to see in your study of best wins, and you should look over those wins every once in a while and just relish and enjoy your cleverness, your ability to find the wins, to find the good moves, and build up that confidence that you'll find those moves a lot, right? In the future, it'll keep happening. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. I wanted to share that with you, along with, again, the puzzle-worthy moves, as I was talking about. Not crazy about Anna Kramlin's video at that time, but I like her. She's fun, but I think she needs to be coached more by her parents before she starts sharing some of that, because I just think some of it's wrong, what she says sometimes. But anyway, she's so fun to listen to. All right, that's my thoughts at the moment. Let's see how that game is going. Wow, so not the best moves, right? So let's see what happened. Best move, it looks like finally the computers decided it was pawn push. He moved the rook instead. Nakamura missed the best move here. which seems to attack the rook, attacks the pawn, attacks the bishop, attacks everything, it feels like. That would have been a nice move, I feel like. Instead, he goes and attacks the queen and still trying to get 2 on here, but, you know, it's going to take more work. And now it says go ahead and add that rook to the mix. He finds that one. So now he has 3, and yet you could put the bishop in front to break that connection. Interesting. And again, the computer just says simplify, get out of this game. Come on, just. I think he's trying to simplify to an endgame. But the computer says that. Nakamura says, nope, I'll chase the queen some more. And we're still going around the mulberry bush. Yep. So who knows? I don't. Where this will end up. I have no idea. All right, guys, enjoy the game, though. I hope you enjoy the game. Let's see. Unfortunately, none of our family, none of the stream team is out there streaming. But the Anna Cramling I told you guys about, and this was in a YouTube video. She's streaming. I don't know what she's doing, but she's streaming. I could definitely take you all, and you could go watch the analysis of the Hikaru Nakamura game, but you can find that yourselves, can't you? I know you can. So now I'm like wondering, who is new out there? Maybe someone new we should look at, because you guys can go find the chess game by yourselves. You don't need me to forward you over to there. I don't see any that you would need that. That's interesting. If you guys have a recommendation, I always like recommendations also. I will take recommendations. The game goes on. And I just think this is super cool that we can watch these super grandmasters play and we get the benefit of watching the computer tell us what the best moves are. I think that is kind of funny, cool, neat. I don't like using the computer personally, but it's kind of neat. All right, guys. Most of us have already bounced, but that's fine. Let me just one last try here. Unfortunately, no one I follow is on. I'll tell you what, we'll hit up Grand Mistress Iran again. She's not a Grandmaster, that's for sure. She's a beginner.